Hello, my name's Katie and welcome to my shed. You look a little bit like you might fall off the tripod, so let's hope you don't. How's things? Actually it hasn't been that long since we last caught up. Last week we did this, playing with my new acrylic gouaches in preparation for the painting that I want to do today. So the other week I was driving my daughter to a football match, and it was like an hour and a half away, but it was in the middle of Norfolk, so it was a bit of a trek away, but it meant there was some beautiful countryside, and there was a couple of fields and images that as I was driving I thought I really want to capture that. Unfortunately I couldn't take any photos or footage because I was driving, and it's like single lane, and there's always someone behind you, isn't there, whenever you want to stop and take a photo, so I couldn't do that. But I have done a few sketches of kind of what I want it to look like. If you know English countryside, particularly like East Anglia, it's very agricultural, and it was those fields that have been ploughed, but the crops are starting to grow, so you've got green and brown like stripes. There's always poplar trees in the background and like grass verges, and there was so many pheasants, so I really want to do a pheasant. So in my head I'm thinking pheasant, road, field, poplar trees, sky, and it was a lovely evening, so yeah, that's what I'm planning on doing today. I have done a few sketches, they're all a little bit naff, but I'll show you them anyway. I've only got one in here, I don't know where I did the others, but this is my very high quality sketch of what I want to paint today, or make a start on. It's going to be a few days in the making, but that's what we're going to do. And I did do a few more sketches last week when I was at the craft fair, because it was very quiet. I was just playing with composition and whether it should be square or if it should be rectangular, and I think square suits the image better. Anyway, I was drawing some pheasants. I'm debating whether to show you. I'm going to show you. There you go. These are my little pheasants. They look a little bit concerned, but they probably would be concerned because I was about to run them over in my car. So that's what we're going to do today. First of all, I just want to practice drawing some pheasants, and I think I'm going to just use my Neocolours. That's what I fancy doing. So I'm going to draw a few pheasants with some Neocolours, and as like a little warm-up exercise. Then we'll get the paper out and make a start on painting. Does that sound alright? Garden, for those of you on Garden Watch, we have had a lot of weird weather, like hailstorms and all sorts here, but this morning it was fine. So I finished laying my slabs for the shed, and now I need to work out how I'm going to move, not this shed, it's a smaller shed, but move it to the bottom of the garden without just it snapping in half. So that's going to be fun. If any of you have got any ideas, let me know. If you didn't watch last week's video, sorry, I should tell you what it is. This is the Fabriano Torchon Extra Rough. I didn't love it last week, but it's fine. But I don't know that I'm going to rush out and buy it again. I do wonder if I should have put a bit of watercolour down first, like a quinacridone gold or something like that, and work over the top. Let's do that. Gosh, I changed my mind. I'm so fickle, aren't I? But we'll get just some basic shapes down. We'll use the Szmal one, shall we? And the Winsor Newton one. There's water on those just to reactivate them. The idea is I'm going to do them fairly loosely. So we are going to work over the top of them. Well, I mean, they're a little bit odd, but it's fine, isn't it? Let's get colouring in. Well, that was just loads of fun. Really enjoyed doing that. They all look so worried, don't they? Let me hang on. Can I zoom you in? Let's see if I can work out how to do that. Yeah, I really like them. They're quite fun. This one looks really, really cross. Yeah. So the plan is I'm going to use something. Now I've got an idea for this. The idea is to pop that in a field with the landscape. I'm not going to do that now because it's nearly time to do the school run and I need to tidy up. But we will be in probably tomorrow. So I'll see you then. Afternoon. It's grey and miserable outside again. We have had some nice weather, but it isn't anymore. Right, what are we doing today? Does anyone remember? We are going to... Oh, there's a fly in here. Oh. I'm going to turn these into a mixed media painting. I wanted it bigger and I wanted it square, and the only paper I could find, I've got a it's not a sketchbook, it's a pad of paper. I don't know what it is because I tore the front page off it before, so I don't know what it is anymore. It's not particularly thick though, but I mean it feels like about 200, something like that. I think it'll be fine. It's quite smooth, so that should work for mixed media, and I've masked it out. What I need to do next is, I don't know if you remember, if you've watched my previous videos where I did the swan and the peregrine. Bird's going crazy. The swan and the peregrine. Basically, I masked out the area where the bird's going to be so that I can do all the background really loosely and then go in with the bird at the end. So that's what we're going to do. And I'm probably going to use one of these as my template. I won't cut it out. I'll probably use some of this. This is just a disposable palette, but because it's got that sort of shine to it, it makes quite good stencil paper. So I'm going to use that, cut it out, stick it on, and then we'll get drawing. Now, I'm quite lazy. I have got a light box, but instead I just use the window, and I've just traced, you see, traced out an outline. We'll cut that out, and then we'll pop some masking tape on it and recut it out again. I like there to be a bit of an outline. Like a white outline around this. And I quite like that negative space. I think that kind of comes from my screen printing days, I think, because that's how I liked my prints as well. So okay, this is my master area. I've done it 12 inches by 12 inches, and here is my little pheasant, and we just need to find him a home. And we'll just stick this down, and it will act to protect the rest of the paper, or the paper under it, so then when I come to paint the pheasant, it's nice and white. First thing I'll do is try and get the horizon in straight, so let's do that. Just going really light. Just to give me a bit of horizon. Don't know if you can see that on there, but it's very, very faint, deliberately so. Now originally I was going to have the road coming all the way up to here, but I feel like I don't want that much grey, so I'm going to have the road kind of going off at the side. I don't actually know how much of that you can see on here with this light, but that's us mapped out. I'm going to start with the sky. We'll get the sky in and work our way forward, and then I don't want there to be, what's the word, this is going to be quite loose and a little bit messy, but the sky I want to be flatter. That's where we come in with acrylic gouache. I want the light blue, yeah, that one. So we're going to use that one for the sky, and I'm going to go neat. Okay, next bit we're going to do is get this field in, and I want to use the ash rose. I might loosen this one this time, so I'm going to add some bit of water into it, and I'm going to lay it down with a little bit of texture. know it looks like a hot mess, but we're going to go with it. I'm trusting the process, she says. What I don't know is how well this stuff's going to go on top of it, but we'll have a go. Right, this is where it gets potentially really bad. No, they're not fields of blood. I'm just... quite like this on here actually. It's doing some weird stuff, but that doesn't mean it's not okay. And this is just awful. Terrible. Okay. We need to dry it off and have a long hard think. Okay, so you know what I said about the sky being flat? Well, I'm gonna probably ruin it now because the colour's too, it's not right. So I mean, I do still want it flat, but just not that colour. That's better. Just got that sort of stripy sky you get. That's a bit of cloud. I have surprised myself, and this I really like. I really didn't initially, not a fan. I'm bringing a tiny bit of this blue into the road. This is a bit of Kuretake actually, which is going on here. I really like the way it's going on over the top of that gouache. It's like laying slightly weird, but right, I just want some darkness in this. It's coming out a bit white. Got these spots. That's a bit random, but I quite like it. Okay, so I'm going to call it a night. And we'll see what it's like when I come back in a few days' time. I'll see you soon. Bye. I don't know what's going on, but it's miserable. I mean, we're pushing June now, and it's just grey and rainy, and I'm cold. I'm back in my winter clothes, so I don't know what's going on. Anyway, right, what we're doing, we're going to finish this painting today, hopefully. It has dried quite nicely. It's very muted, which is not my usual styles, but that's okay because we're going to add to it, and we'll add a bit of a few more marks and a bit more colour. But I think I'm quite liking it. I'm going to turn you around. The paper is still a little bit buckled. I'm hoping the lighting's okay. I've had to put the ring light on because it's so cold and dark today. I'm just debating whether I'm going to put a bit more on here before I take this stencil off, and I think I will, because I just want to use a few more wet paints, a bit more of the wet stuff, and before we go in with the dry. I actually really like this. It's a bit odd, but I do quite like it. I need to pop the trees in, and I just want to get a bit more something going on here. So let's have a think what we're going to use. Can you hear that rain falling? We're going to get some reds around the eye. I'm going to try and do some detail. I'm going with the orangey red so that I can work over the top with something darker if I want to, which I probably will. The Rosa reds are they're so vibrant, aren't they? And so pigmented. Look how far this one brush of paint is going. Okay, there's bits of it that I'm enjoying, and there's some bits that I'm not. Mainly this grass. I'm debating whether to flatten it out completely. Should not have done that. Start with doing patches of it. It's a little bit thick. Just flatten areas of it out. You know what we're going to do, don't you? That's better. I'll just do a few areas of this. Okay, I am also going to flatten this out because I'm not loving it. I just think there's too much texture. So we'll flatten it out and then we'll go back over with some of the Neocolour IIs. So there will be texture, but just not quite as much as there was. That's much better. Right, I'm going to get this dried off properly and then we'll do the Neocolour and then I think we're done. Boo boo. I tried to brush off that little black mark and now I've got a big smudge. Brilliant. Looks like we'll be redoing the sky. Honestly, I am not a tidy worker. Let's get some detail in, then we'll sort the sky out and then we'll be finished. let's peel it off. Let's do it the right way up though. Oh, look at that. So much mess in here. Are we ready? Might have to heat it up. Okay, let's put that light back on because it is dark in here. What do you think? I mean, it's a little bit crinkly, but I'll pop a weight on it and see if we can flatten that out. But I'm really pleased with him. I'm still wondering whether I should put a, you know, I do like a black line around things, but let's do that. I just feel like it makes it look deliberate. I'm very happy actually. It was painful, probably very painful to watch, but did enjoy doing it. So I'll get it cut out and then we'll have a chat. Right, let's talk. It felt a little bit more painful than I had anticipated. Now I think some of that is I went in too heavy with the paints to start with and I didn't build it up in layers the way that I like to. But we got there eventually. So this was my little sketch where we started. And then this little one as well. And then the next thing we did was this. Now I really like these. I think they're super cute. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with them, but I just think they're cute. And this is where we ended up. So I'm actually really pleased with it. So yeah, there we go. What do you think? I mean, it still doesn't bring that same joy that I got when I did my swan painting, but I do feel like I might be chasing a unicorn there and I might never get that feeling again, not for a long while. But there are bits about this that I really like and I am excited to keep playing with my mixed media and develop it. So my favourite bits actually are the field in the background with all these different textures on marks on. So yeah, I really like those. Yeah, I think overall it's a successful image. Let me know what you think. I don't know that I've got much else to say other than I hope you have a lovely week. Please let me know in the comments if does this look like a Norfolk field to you? It does to me, other than it looks maybe a bit hilly, but that's all perspective and I'm not good at that, am I? We know. And yeah, have you noticed all of those sort of suicidal pheasants running around? I think it's just mating season, isn't it? There's so many dead things along the edge of the road, just where all the animals and birds have gone a little bit loopy. So it's a bit of a shame. I didn't hit one, so I feel quite smug, but there was quite a few that were looking to be hit. So let me know in the chat how you're doing, if you've had a chance to play with mixed media yet and how that's going, because I know a few of you have said that that's something that you're trying to work on and I'd be really interested to see those or hear about your journeys. So let me know in the chat. If you are not subscribed, please do so. It would mean a lot, but the most important thing, and I say this every week, the most important thing to me is about the comments, because I just really like engaging with you and having a chat. So if you've got a few seconds to leave me a little message, that would be great. But yeah, have a lovely week and I'll see you soon. Bye. Let's hope it's sunny.